Love is the thing that makes the world go around. And if we could all be more loving and peaceful, it would be a wonderful world. My name is Betty Bulin, and I was one of the founders of the Elizabeth Hospice back in 1978.
We are celebrating our 30th year serving compassionately this community in northern San Diego County, and it all started, and everyone in this building would agree, with Betty Bulin.
I think being by a patient's side or making them feel more comfortable, it just was a good feeling to know that you were helping somebody. It just seemed to come naturally to me, to be caring. When I saw the article about the hospice in the paper, I knew that that's what I was going to do, and my kids were all grown, so I decided that I would pursue that.
30 years ago, people didn't know the word hospice. You know, and death, for a lot of people, it's something you didn't talk about.
They saw the need in the community to provide a different model of care for people at the end of life.
I contacted 3 nurse friends and asked if they would like to join me as founders of the hospice.
She saw a need, and she set out to fill that need.
She had an idea, and by golly, she put it through.
The 4 of us would get together for breakfast down at Denny's South and work on these papers and trying to decide what we should do.
It ignited her, and she went to Europe, and she wanted to learn about it. She wanted to just absorb all she could and come back and share it, and she did.
All of this was done completely by volunteers. And eventually, of course, it grew and more volunteers joined hospice. And then the hospice movement began to grow in the United States.
It was a big challenge to go ahead and try and find my way through all the maze of questions and answers.
She didn't let any of those obstacles that may have been there affect what she and others had in their heart to serve others.
For 30 years, we have grown tremendously. We're seeing really the fruits of those labors that Betty and those initial volunteers initiated.
Over 70,000 people have come and gone through this process.
And to join them in that journey is very important.
But it's her heart, really, that has made Elizabeth Hospice.
As we make decisions and as we roll out programs and as we do the things, I do think, okay, what would Betty say about this? Is this the course that we should be taking?
She has led by example and continues to lead by example because she has never left this organization. And because of the people that she's chosen to work and be a part of this organization, it has lived on.
I had a lot of recognition, but actually the recognition is for the staff and for the board and for all of the people that have come to support us. One person could never do that all alone. The modern hospice, which Dr. Cecily Saunders started, came about because of her work with cancer patients, and she had a young man that had been a prisoner in the Warsaw Ghetto, and he was dying of cancer, and they started talking about what was missing in the care of the dying. And they agreed that the missing part was the respect for the patient.
They needed something in addition to what the hospital offers, something that would offer dignity and compassion and peace for people at the end of their life, and that would encompass the whole person.
What she knew about death and dying, it appears to be something, again, outside of her, some spiritual presence, that force that allowed her to get next to those delicate and those extremely painful issues.
One of her sayings is, hospice is never ever about dying, it's about living.
The thing about the Elizabeth Hospice, I think, is that we have really stressed all 3 aspects, the physical, the spiritual, and the mental. It just is a well-rounded program that looks at all aspects of the patient's life. Some families have difficulty in dealing with sickness. It's just such a relief to them to have the hospice come in and just take over and support them every way they can.
In order to do this work and to do it for any length of time, you've got to be able to step outside of yourself, put yourself in somebody else's shoes, basically, and recognize the pain and suffering that they are going through.
The Elizabeth Hospice is a wonderful family because it starts with the foundation of compassion.
You drop in there like an angel from heaven just when these people need you.
It's really just listening to them and, offering them the kindness that you would extend to any other human being.
You can't pay for the hospice heart, and you can't pay for the tradition of volunteerism and giving that Betty started. That's really the legacy.
Families reach peace.
I think our biggest support is our local community. They really appreciate what we've done. They are very proud of the fact that we've done as well as we have, and they love to contribute and do it very generously.
I admire people that have a vision, and I have all the respect in the world for her and for what she's accomplished and the people that she's been able to attract because of the good work that it does, the amazing work that it does.
Yeah, I feel like I'm working for a place that is truly doing something worthwhile.
I think it's very important for our staff and our volunteers to meet her, to see her, to listen to her. She's an inspiring person.
She's just wonderful. There's no getting away from it. I admire her a great deal.
I love Betty. I love Betty.
She has gone through with her dream and has made it possible for everybody to help people.
Happy 30th birthday, Betty.
Happy 30th of an accomplishment that is beyond what anyone could ever imagine.
It's amazing that all that they have accomplished during this time.
What we have in common with Betty is that we do want to make a difference, that every day we wake up knowing we can make a difference and not being afraid to do it. Happy 30 years, Betty.
As I look back on the hospice after 30 years, I'm still amazed at what we've accomplished in that time. I'm amazed at how many wonderful people have come to share their lives with us, and the patients who come to teach us so many things. I guess I never could have imagined that it would be this successful, and that we would have such wonderful response from the community, from the whole country as it has grown in the hospice movement. And I'm blessed to have been a part of it.
The compassion that she gave to the community when she first started this organization has never left and is the guiding light for all of us today. And the legacy that she has left behind is one that will always be treasured. And we're not going to stop until our vision is completed, and that's a world in which every life ends with compassion, dignity, and peace.
The Elizabeth Hospice. 30 years of compassion and service.